How to think in English. Have you ever heard someone say, "You need to think in English"? It sounds cool, right? But what does it really mean? And how do you actually do it? If you've been learning English for a while, you may have noticed something. You understand words, you know grammar, you can even write or read well. But when you try to speak, you pause. You translate in your head. You think in your first language and then try to change it into English. That takes time. And that's what makes speaking feel slow and hard. So here is the big question. How do you stop translating? How do you start thinking in English, naturally, like native speakers do? Let's explore that together. First, let's understand what thinking in English really means. It doesn't mean having deep thoughts or writing essays in your head. It simply means reacting to life in English automatically. It means that when you see a dog, your brain says dog, not pero or inu, or chien. It means that when you're tired, your brain says I'm tired, not watashi wa tsukareta, and then changes it to English. Thinking in English is about speed, about fluency, about comfort. It helps you speak faster, listen better, and feel more natural. Now, here's the truth. Everyone can learn to think in English. You don't need to be super smart. You don't need to live in an English-speaking country. What you need is practice and the right habits. Let me tell you about Leo. He was a university student from Argentina. His English test scores were high, but his speaking was slow. He always translated in his head. Then, his teacher gave him a challenge. For 1 week, speak to yourself only in English. Just 1 or 2 sentences each time. No Spanish allowed. Leo felt silly, but he tried. On the first day, he said, "I wake up, I brush teeth, I eat bread." Very basic, but he kept going. After 7 days, something changed. His brain started using English without thinking first in Spanish. He felt faster, lighter, more confident. That was the beginning of his English brain. So, how can you do the same? Start small. Start with objects around you. When you wake up, look around and name things in English. This is my pillow. That's my window. I see the sky. You don't need full sentences at first, just words, then phrases, then small thoughts. During the day, talk to yourself, silently or quietly. Say things like, "I'm hungry, it's cold today, I need to study." These are small thoughts, but they matter. They are your first steps toward thinking in English. Another helpful habit is using English during daily tasks. For example, when you cook, say the steps in English. Boil the water, cut the vegetables, add salt. When you clean, say, wipe the table, sweep the floor. Done. This kind of language is easy, real, and useful. It trains your brain in a natural way. Some learners say, "But what if I don't know the English word?" Good question. First, try to describe it. For example, if you don't know ceiling, you can say, "the top of the room." Later, you can check the word. That guessing step is part of the process. It teaches your brain to stay in English mode. There's a famous idea in language learning called comprehensible input. It means you learn best when you understand most of what you hear or read, but not all. Just a little challenge. That's why it's important to listen to English that's just a bit above your level. Stories, podcasts, YouTube videos. Choose ones where you understand 80 to 90%. Your brain will slowly catch the rest. Over time, the input becomes output. What goes in comes out. Here's something powerful you can do. Describe your actions as you do them. For example, when you're walking, say in your head, "I'm walking to the station. The sun is bright. I hear birds." When you buy something, think, "This costs $2. I'll pay by card. Thank you." You are not just living. You are training. Let me tell you about Amina from Morocco. She wanted to study abroad in Canada, but her speaking was weak. So she created a habit. Every night before sleep, she told the story of her day in English. I went to the market. I saw my cousin. We laughed a lot. Some nights she forgot words. Some nights she spoke slowly. But after 3 months, she was telling long stories with feeling. Her brain had changed. It began to live in English. Another tip is to change your environment. Make your phone and apps switch to English. Read headlines in English. Set your reminders in English. Follow Instagram accounts that post in English. The more you see English, the more your brain accepts it as normal. And when English feels normal, it becomes easier to think in it. Now, let's look at some science. In 2006, researchers in Sweden studied brain activity in people who learned a second language. They found that language learners who practiced thinking in the new language showed different brain patterns than those who only studied it passively. Their brains looked more like those of native speakers. This shows us something important. Thinking in English is not just a skill. It's a brain habit, a mental shortcut. The more you do it, the more your brain rewires itself. Some people believe that only children can learn to think in a second language. That's not true. It's easier when you're young, yes, but adults can do it too, with time and effort. Now, let's talk about speed. Thinking in English helps you respond faster in conversation. Have you ever talked to someone and they asked, "How was your weekend?" and your brain stopped working? That happens when you try to translate. But if your thoughts are already in English, you can say, "It was nice. I went to the beach. It was sunny." No panic, no delay. So how do you train this speed? Repeat simple phrases again and again. I'm not sure. Can you say that again? I agree. That's interesting. These are short but powerful. They are like tools. The more you use them, the faster your brain grabs them. They become automatic. Another good exercise is shadowing. That means listening to a short sentence and repeating it out loud, right away. You match the speaker's speed, tone, and rhythm. At first, it's hard, but after a while, it becomes fun. It also teaches your mouth to move like an English speaker's mouth. That's important. Let's not forget the emotional side. Thinking in English helps you build confidence. When you stop depending on translation, you feel free, you feel ready, you feel like English is yours, not just something you study. There's a man named Kenji from Japan. He said that the first time he dreamed in English, he cried. Why? Because for him, it meant he had entered a new world. He was no longer just learning English. He was living in it. You can have that feeling too. So here's what you can do starting today. First, choose one part of your day and think only in English. Maybe it's your morning routine, or your walk to school, or your lunch break. Keep your thoughts simple. I'm making coffee. The water is hot. I need to leave soon. Don't worry about grammar. Just think. Second, create your English space. Change your phone. Read your news. Write your to-do list in English. Let your world slowly become more English-friendly. Third, speak to yourself. Describe your day. Ask yourself questions. Answer them out loud. What will I do today? I'll study English. I'll call my friend. This trains your brain to stay in English mode. Fourth, don't wait for perfection. If you forget a word, describe it. If you make a mistake, keep going. Your goal is not to be perfect. Your goal is to stay in English. And last, be kind to yourself. Building an English brain takes time. Some days you will feel slow. That's okay. Keep going. One day you'll notice it. You'll say something in English without thinking, and you'll smile, because it will feel easy. And that, my friend, is how you know your English brain has begun to grow.